Hi students, welcome to Alphos e-learning chemistry classes for second year. The running chapter is solid state and now we are in session number 16. In previous sessions we discussed about the defects, different kinds of defects that exist in crystal lattices. It may be for covalent compounds or it may be for ionic crystals. The different types of defects we discussed, and in due course we covered different stoichiometric compound defects and non-stoichiometric crystal defects, and impurity defects also we discussed. And now in this session I am going to provide you one very important and the frequently asked. It is nothing but an ideal problem. Simply we can say that it is an ideal problem where we are coming across similar type of questions. With one examples we can cover so many questions. Such type of question I am going to solve here for the finding out of when it is metal excess or metal deficiency is there. In that metal deficiency, when the metal is able to exhibit variable oxidation state, then different oxidation state metal ions when present in the crystal, then automatically it leads to non-stoichiometry of the crystal. Already we know it. And now in this question they are asking for the number of different oxidation state ions of the metal. Say for example, with an example let me explain this one. It is nothing but when Fe2, Fe 0.93 and O, this is given. Actually it is non-stoichiometric compound. Why? Because it should be FeO. But here metal deficiency is happened. How it happened? It is nothing but because of the missing of the cation, that is cation vacancy is created. How it is? Say for example, iron in +2, actually it is ferrous oxide, Fe +2 and -2, and Fe +2 and Fe +2, and these are compensating the charge that appear on 3 oxygen atoms, 1:1 ratio, is it not? And now when these are present like this, if one of these iron by giving or by taking electron from this one and this one is reduced to iron atom, then these two will become Fe +3 and Fe +3. Are you following? That means instead of 3 ferrous ions, 2 ferric ions will exist and 1 will be reduced. Clear? And not all cases, few ferrous ions are missing, and thereby the compensation of the charge is neutralized. That compensation of the charge is happened by increasing the charge in the remaining ferrous ions, which are turned to ferric ions. Clear? And now the question is, in Fe 0.93 O, this is the non-stoichiometric ferric that is iron oxide, not ferric, not ferrous, it is just iron oxide. In this one they are asking for the number of Fe +3 ions and Fe +2 ions. That is the question what they are asking. Are you following? Are you understanding the question? Just it is nothing but in non-stoichiometric iron oxide, FeO 0, that is FeO where iron is 0.93. Why 0.93? Actually they should exist 1:1 ratio, but few ferrous ions converted to ferric ion, missing few ferrous ions. That makes this to come to this composition. Clear? And now they are asking for this. And how to solve this? Let us try to solve this question. Just it is nothing but when we are considering Fe 0.93 O, if it is Fe 0.93 O, let us assume these both sides, because we have to clear the fraction, multiplied with 100, it is Fe 93 and oxygen is 100. Clear? And now when it is given like this 93 iron atoms have to balance, oxygen is -2 into 100, that is nothing but -200 charge. minus 200 charge, to balance that minus 200 charge, these 93 iron atoms should possess plus 200 charge. Is it not? This is the concept. Just try to understand this one, because whatever the metal they are giving, if they are providing the non-stoichiometric metal oxides or metal compounds, if they are asking for the number or percentage of different types of oxidation state ions, then you have to calculate in this manner. Clear? And now let us consider 93 iron atoms have to cover plus 200 charge, because altogether these 93 iron atoms have to balance minus 200. Clear? And now let us assume that X atoms are in Fe plus 3 oxidation state. Then when X are in Fe plus 3, 93 minus X atoms will be in Fe plus 2. Here you remember, my dear students, most of these people are doing that, taking this X and the remaining as 100 minus X, but actually here 100 atoms are not there. If it is percentage compositions, all these, there we are getting, if one element, say for example for isotopes, if one is 25% available, the second one is how much available? 100 minus 25. But here it is not the case. Just you observe. Here it is total atoms are 93 only. So when out of 93 X atoms are in plus 3 oxidation state, that means X plus 3 is there, X3 is there, and the 93 minus X is 2. That is equal to, now we have to consider like this, 90, that is X into 3 plus 93 minus X into 2 is equal to 200. I think now you can solve the remaining part. Now you can solve. You have to find the X. Are you clear with this one? This is X is 3 plus 3 and 93 minus X is 2. Now the sum is equal to 200. Because it is numerical part, you can solve on your own. The concept is like this. Clear? That is about numerical related to metal deficiency. And now coming to this session, here we have to discuss about the last part of the lesson, that is nothing but the properties of the crystal systems, that is nothing but solid crystals. The properties of solid crystals we have to consider. That's what we are covering in this session. Properties of solid crystals. Actually, the important properties that depend, the important, that is the main property that depend on the structure and composition of solid, on the structure and composition of the solid are three. They are nothing but electrical properties. Electrical properties, one, and second one is magnetic properties. Magnetic properties, and third one is dielectric properties. Dielectric properties. These are the three properties that depend on structure and composition of the solid. Just you observe. These are the three properties, and in this session we are going to cover about these electrical properties. The electrical properties. And now let us start discussion on this. Electrical properties. Depending on the conductivity capacity or depending on the electrical conductivity, solid crystals or solids are three types. Just depending on what? Depending on electrical conductivity. Depending on electrical conductivity, these solids are of three types. And now let me give what are those. Already you know from your physics, it is nothing but conductors. Conductors. And second one is nothing but insulators. Insulators. And third one is nothing but semiconductors. Semiconductors. These are the three kinds of solids depending on the conducting property. Clear? And now conductors. Now let us define these. Conductors are the solids that have electrical conductivity in the range of 10 to the power of 8 moles per centimeter. When the conductivity of any solid is in the range of 10 to the power of 8 moles per centimeter, that substance, that solid is said to be conductor. Clear? And insulators, they have conductivity range from 10 to the power of minus 10 to 10 to the power of minus 22 moles per centimeter. Their range is almost negligible. They are not having the conducting capacity. Clear? And now coming to semiconductor. Already we know semiconductor, sometimes they are behaving as conductors and sometimes they are unable to conduct. Clear? And they have the conducting range 10 to the power of minus 6 to 10 to the power of 4 moles per centimeter. All this data is as per NCERT textbooks. Just to observe. Clear? These are the three types of solids that depend on the electrical conductivity. Clear? And now let us discuss about the semiconductors. Actually, these semiconductor conductivity is influenced by the impurities and imperfections, that is nothing but the defects that present in the crystal. Just again I am repeating these two, one is conductor, the other one is insulator. Clear? And third one is semiconductor. Now we are discussing about that semiconductor because already in impurity defects in previous session also we discussed about n-type semiconductor, p-type semiconductor, like that. That means that semiconductor are happening, that is nothing but n-type is happening because of excess of electron concentration, and p-type of semiconductor is happening because of excess of holes. Already you know. Clear? And now these excess electrons are excess holes are present only because of doping. Doping is nothing but addition of impurity to the crystal, is it not? And now the same what we are considering is the conductance of or the conductivity of the semiconductors are depending on impurity and imperfections. And when impurity is added, automatically defect is followed. And defect is nothing but also known as imperfection. So these in semiconductors conductivity depends on this impurity or imperfection. And now these such type of imperfect solid semiconductors conductivity in such type of imperfect or defected crystals semiconductors, the conductivity is mainly due to different that is phenomena. One is nothing but that is conductivity or conductance in defect crystals, nothing but defected semiconductors, are due to migration of ions if they are ionic crystals. Clear? And second one is due to charge imperfections. Sometimes charge is not balanced, it is imperfection. When vacancy is created, charge is balanced because of the free electrons or because of the change in oxidation state of the metal, like that. Actually the charge should be uniform for all metallic cations, but it is because of the absence of the anion, that is cation. Once when the anion concentration is more, automatically to balance that charge, these metal cations are increasing their oxidation number, or they are exhibiting variable oxidations. That creates the charge imperfection. Clear? And third one is nothing but migration of electrons. Already we know, when free electrons present, migration of electrons. And fourth one, it is due to shifting of holes. Already you know what is hole. Hole is nothing but these are mostly happened in case of conducting band. In conducting band, unoccupied places are known as holes. So when the electron is migrating, or when electron is moving in forward direction, holes are shifting to backward direction. These are responsible for positive charge conductance. Clear? Like that, these are the responsible phenomena that happens in the conductivity of defected crystals or imperfect crystals. And now one by one, let us consider these conducting properties. Generally we know the conductance mechanism in solids are explained by two mechanisms. One is nothing but vacancy mechanism. The conductance mechanism is explained by vacancy mechanism, and the second one is nothing but interstitial mechanism. These two are useful in explaining or in describing the mechanism what is happening in conductance. Clear? And now in case of metals, first let us consider this. Already we know conductance is, let me explain the conductance process in metals and semiconductors simultaneously so as to understand easily. I can make you to understand easy. Conductance is due to migration of electrons. Migration of electrons. Where? From where to where? Just it is between conducting and valency bands. Already you know these two bands, as we discussed in previous session. When it is unoccupied place is nothing but hole, and the other one is occupied by electrons. When these two are very close to each other, this is unoccupied, and here electrons are occupied already. The gap is nothing but known as energy gap. This is energy gap. So in case of metals, there is no such gap. Almost all it is reachable at every temperature. Easily this electron can migrate to, this is nothing but conducting band Cb, and it is nothing but Vb, valence band. So in metals, the electron migration between these two bands create the conductance. Clear? But at high temperatures, what happens? At high temperature, generally when the temperature increase, the migration of electrons should increase. But here, for the migration of electron, there is no need of the temperature. Then what happens? Just you remember, it is a peculiar phenomenon observed in metals. When at high temperature, the conductance or the conductivity of metals slightly decrease. Do you know the reason from your physics? The reason is, at high temperature, these lattice points are nothing but holes. Holes are getting high vibrations. They are getting high vibrations because of high energy. They are vibrating more and more. And when they are migrating more and more, these electrons are unable to find way to jump. That means they are nothing but by highest or higher vibrations, these holes are creating some sort of resistance for the free flow of electrons. Because of the vibrations created at high temperature for the holes, they are resisting the free flow of electrons. That's why slightly the conductance decrease. But you remember, in metals sometimes impurities and imperfections, impurity and imperfections are also contributing for the conductance. Impurity and imperfection. Sometimes when it is pure metal, the conductance is happening like this. and sometimes its conductance is also influenced by or contributed by impurity and imperfections present in that metal crystal. Clear? And now the question is, how much impurity is present? How we can consider the magnitude of impurity in a given metal? This can be easily, this impurity can be obtained, or impurity can be measured from the conductance ratio of the metal at 300 Kelvin and 4.2 Kelvin. This ratio for every metal, this ratio is having its constants. That is nothing but metal characteristic feature for it is this ratio, the conductivity ratio at 300 to 4.2 metal for the given metal. Clear? It is fixed. And now as the impurity increase, automatically the conductance ratio will increase. So with that ratio increasing, we can find how much of the impurity will present. So what is the parameter to find the impurity in the metal is nothing but the conductance ratio at 300 Kelvin to 4.2 Kelvin. Are you clear with this one? That is about the metal conductance. And in case of semiconductors, that is nothing but in case which are of having the non-conducting nature at ordinary temperature. For such type of semiconductors, actually impurities will increase the conductance. In case of semiconductors, when impurity is added, semiconductors. Now let us consider the semiconductors conductance. Here also again similar to that of the metals, but this is what is happening. These are the holes, and here the holes are filled with electrons. That is nothing but again it is valence band and it is conducting band. But here if you observe, it is of having more energy gap compared to somewhat more energy gap compared to metals. So in the semiconductors, in case of semiconductors, increase in temperature increases the conductivity, whereas in case of metals, increase in temperature slightly decrease the conductivity. The reason is because of higher vibrations of the holes resist the free flow of electron there. But here with increasing the temperature, the chances of these electrons to jump from valence band to conducting band increase. Here when at lower temperature they are unable to find the energy by which they can overcome this energy gap. But at high temperatures they are easily able to get into this, because at high temperature they are of having high energy. Thereby when they are getting into conducting band already, they can conduct easily. That's why when electron jumps to this, then the conductance is possible. That's why it is known as conducting band. Clear? But here also, now let us consider two examples. Germanium, best example, and silicon. This energy gap in case of germanium is 68 kilojoules per mole, and whereas for silicon it is 106 kilojoules per mole. It is also the data from NCERT textbook. The energy gap between the valence band and conducting band in germanium and silicon are 68 kilojoules per mole and 106 kilojoules per mole respectively. Clear? And now in these semiconductors, sometimes two types of concepts we can observe. The temperature, where the temperature zone where the conductance is purely depending on, conductance is due to electrons and holes. That's all. That present in the semiconductor, that is present in the solid crystal. If these two are responsible for the conductance, the temperature zone, that means purely they are present from the semiconductor crystal, they are not coming from outside. So this type of conductance where happen, the temperature zone is known as intrinsic zone or region. Intrinsic region or zone of temperature is for semiconductors where the conductance is purely depending on the electrons and holes that present in the semiconductor solid crystal. Sometimes, now let us observe, temperature zone where the conductance, this conductance is due to contribution of electron donors or electron acceptors. That means if the conductance is mainly depending on the concentration of the electron donors and electron acceptors. In semiconductor, what are electron donors? Just in previous session we discussed pentavalent elements are electron donors and trivalent elements are electron acceptors. So automatically this situation will happen when some sort of impurity is added to the metal. That means it is nothing but when it is happening with a doping. Clear? And then once it is when the temperature where the conductance of the semiconductor depends on the donors and the acceptors, that is known as extrinsic zone. I think now you can understand the difference. Intrinsic, just they depend by virtue of the electrons and holes present in the crystal, the conductance will be. And whereas in case if the conductance is due to contribution of electron donors or electron acceptors, then the temperature zone is known as extrinsic zone. Are you clear with this one? And now NPN, PNP, already in your physics you know NPN or PNP, like diodes, all these are used as transistors. Transistors are helpful in detecting or in amplifying the radio or audio signals. Similarly, cells, that is nothing but solar cells. Solar cells, these are useful. These are also having some sort of semiconductors where which are useful for the conversion of the radiant energy into electrical energy. Clear? And like that. And now there are some metal oxides that can exhibit variable difference, that is nothing but much difference, much variation in their electrical conducting property. You have to study those. Some metals are purely behaving as semiconductors, some other metals are purely behaving as conductors, and here and there MnO, best example, MnO, manganese oxide, it is purely insulator, it is unable to conduct the electricity. And you have, from your books, you have to collect all those metal oxides which can behave as conductors and the metal oxides which can behave only as semiconductors. And MnO is insulator, you remember. You have to gather that, and just with that one we can conclude the electrical properties of the crystals. And in the coming session we will go for the magnetic properties and dielectric properties of the crystals. Okay, thank you.